The man known as the mayor of the Cotton District, Dan Camp, passed away earlier this week after battling the coronavirus. Take 30's Hannah Vandy digs deeper into how equine therapy is beneficial to one's mental health and emotional state. The Express Route, Mississippi State, is offering a winter session this year to give students the opportunity to get a head start on their spring semester. Your Take 30 news starts now. News. I'm Elizabeth Jackson. This week, President Trump's third Supreme Court pick was confirmed after the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg earlier this year. Take 30's Dalton Whitfield has the story.
The nomination of Amy Coney Barrett of Indiana to be an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States is confirmed.
Monday night, Amy Coney Barrett joined the highest court in the land.
It is your Constitution that establishes the rule of law and the judicial independence that is so central to it.
This was not, though, without protest, from civilians to those on Capitol Hill.
You can't spell shameful without sham. And that's what Senate Republicans have turned this Supreme Court nomination process into, a sham.
Today, Monday, October 26, 2020, will go down as one of the darkest days in the 231-year history of the United States Senate.
But others boasted about Justice Barrett's accomplishments and demeanor.
He is a staggering academic mind, incredibly honest and forthright.
With Take 30 News, I'm Dalton Whitfield.
Fifth woman to serve on the Supreme Court. After nearly 20 attempts to get medical marijuana put on ballots in Mississippi, the time has finally come for Mississippians to make a decision on Initiative 65. But it's not as simple as it may seem. Take 30's Quiana Harrington looks to clear the air.
Tuesday, voters in Mississippi will vote for or against the legalization of medical marijuana use in the state of Mississippi. There are two versions of the medical marijuana amendment, Initiative 65 and the alternative Initiative 65A. Both bills legalize the use of medical marijuana, but their proposals are opposite from one another. Communications Director for the Medical Marijuana 2020 campaign, Jamie Grantham, explains what voters can expect from Initiative 65 as opposed to the alternative Initiative 65A.
It includes actual components to guarantee a program. It includes a program start date. It includes a specific list of 22 debilitating medical conditions, and it includes self-funding structures so that that's not on taxpayers' shoulders. Voters know exactly what they're voting for with Initiative 65, and if 65 is approved, it will begin right away as soon as voters approve it.
According to ballotpedia.org, Initiative 65A is restricted to terminally ill patients and does not specify when or if the program will begin. Liz Charlotte, Communications Director of the Mississippi State Department of Health, is in opposition of legalizing medical marijuana. She stated, "The Mississippi State Board of Health is not supportive of the legalization of Initiative 65. It is not FDA approved. It is illegal and has not undergone a rigorous medical review. Currently, there are no statutes on the book, so we are watching the events as they unfold."
Hurricane Zeta made landfall Wednesday. In the aftermath of the storm, over 2 million people have been left without power, and 6 people have been killed as a result of Hurricane Zeta. Storm is now the 11th of the 2020 season. It is also the 27th storm of the Atlantic hurricane season. Before making landfall, it was projected to bring strong gusty winds and rain to much of the South.
Quickly go through Louisiana, then hit southern Mississippi, And there are tropical storm warnings as far inland as Atlanta because of how quickly the storm is moving. And a tropical storm warning means winds could be 39 miles an hour or stronger. So they're expecting 39 plus mile per hour winds well into Georgia as this storm moves very quickly across the southeast U.S.
The storm is now the 11th of the 2020 season. It is also the 27th storm of the Atlantic hurricane season. Before making landfall, it was projected to bring strong gusty winds and rain to much of the South.
You're right, the rain we're currently experiencing is from moisture that got pushed ahead of Zeta, so it's not directly associated with the storm, but we would probably have less moisture if Zeta wasn't there to push it. And so we're expecting continued rainfall, but we could get some gusts of, 25 or more miles per hour, but that sustained 39 plus mile per hour winds, they don't expect those to reach us.
For areas that have seen a significant amount of rain, winds like this and stronger could mean uprooting trees because they now have much softer soil. Areas, including Louisiana, are still recovering from the damage that has affected the area since August, beginning with Hurricane Laura. The 2020 hurricane season does not end until November 30th, so there is plenty of time for more storms to develop. Currently, there is a storm being watched out in the Caribbean. Take 30 News will keep its eyes peeled for any possible developments with any new hurricanes. Starkville lost one of their very own, Dan Camp, earlier this week. Stay tuned to find out more about his long battle with coronavirus.
They come from across the country. Some are battling brain tumors, others vertebral and spinal conditions. And as rewarding as our work often is, it can be frustrating at times. That's because brain and nervous system conditions are difficult to diagnose and treat, especially when they affect patients who can't talk. A while back, we saw a chance to start something special here, introducing innovative imaging to better understand brain and spinal cord diseases in cats and dogs. Having that type of information makes a substantial difference when developing treatment and surgical plans. It also aids in personalizing the rehabilitation process. The toughest part of our job comes when our patients are well enough to go home. As thrilled as we are to see them walk again, a big piece of our heart goes out the door when they leave.
The Starkville community lost one of its best this past week. Take 30's Miles Conrad has the top story.
Exercise his very creative view of what the Cotton District could be.
Starkville Mayor Lynn Spruill set about former mayor, business partner, and friend Dan Camp. The mayor of the Cotton District, as he was always known, died this past Sunday morning at age 79 after a month-long battle with the coronavirus. Dan Camp built the foundation that would turn into what we know the Cotton District to be today. Dan became interested in acquiring property for student housing in 1969 and started plans for a small 8-unit group of townhouses. The location for these townhouses was to be on Loomis Drive. Over the years, as he added new buildings to the neighborhood, it gave the area a unique appearance in regard to the rest of the community, and the demand from professionals to live on Loomis Drive increased. Many doubted his efforts would ever improve what was known as the poorest area in town, but his hard work and education proved otherwise.
And he did that in a way that would have a lasting impact. Not only does it give us sort of a unique space that we can talk about, but it sets Starkville up as a creative and destination.
As his presence was felt more and more in town, he was elected mayor of Starkville, but would only serve one term. Camp's commitment to the city went beyond his business enterprises. He served on the city's school board and was also a patron of the arts. The city's arts and public places effort was birthed in the Cotton District, where murals began to pop up featuring the work of talented artists. and many of them on camp-owned properties. The Cotton District has transformed from houses for mill workers to now the mecca for nightlife in the Starkville area.
We have a real debt of gratitude for him from that creativity that he exhibited.
Camp will always be remembered for his impact on Starkville. For Take 30 News, I'm Miles Conrad.
For more history on Dan Camp and the Cotton District, visit the website below. With COVID numbers rising in Starkville, Take 30's own Daniel Smith takes a look into whether or not businesses should stay open.
The United States has recently set daily highs for new coronavirus cases, including yesterday, with nearly 90,000 cases reported. Numbers like this beg the question, should businesses close again?
I don't think that the business should shut down. I believe that everyone should just follow the measures of washing hands and, making sure that your area is sanitized.
Oktibbeha County recorded 12 COVID cases yesterday, and during the month of October, the state of Mississippi recorded the most COVID cases since July, which happened to be during the stay-at-home order. But why is the number of COVID cases rising?
Due to people coming in the Starkville for different things like football games, just to visit from different towns. I know I've had a ton of friends come in to visit and stay from different schools.
I think basic hygiene is probably just the number one thing across the nation.
For Take 30 News, I'm David Smith.
Mayor Lynn Spruill stated that she believes businesses should stay open as long as they follow the proper protocols, including maintaining social distancing and wearing masks at all times inside of businesses. For the most recent COVID-19 numbers, visit the Mississippi State Department of Health's website. A way to give back to the community, even through COVID. Don't touch that remote. Take 30 will be right back.
The sense of place. We all have it. Often grown from deep roots in small-town communities. At Mississippi State University, our Carl Small Town Center is strengthening these ties. With nearly 40 years of making a difference, we're revitalizing communities into welcoming places to work, live, and congregate. By weaving together the best pieces of our past with modern technology and amenities, we're creating the hometowns of the future. Places where lifetime memories can be made, where you have all the things you need, along with all the things you want. Through partnerships with our communities, we're identifying improvement opportunities, recommending paths forward, and creating the plans for a better tomorrow. Have you ever thought about what it would take to eliminate one of the most dreaded illnesses of the year? At Mississippi State University, we're dreaming big, fast on the heels of scientific discoveries that will lead to the prevention, diagnosis, and treatment of flu and other illnesses. For researchers, the biggest challenge is keeping pace with viruses that are constantly evolving to become more contagious. But at Mississippi State, we have the upper hand. Our scientists are working with teams around the world to predict when and where new viruses will emerge, combining forces to create flu vaccines before epidemics actually hit. That's because, as a premier research university, we believe it is our responsibility to help improve the lives of those around us. And we're working hard to help create a world where the flu is something children will one day read about in history books.
Volunteering opportunities are available for students, such as the West Point Animal Shelter, Palmer Thrift Store, and after-school tutoring. One experience, though, allows students to work on construction sites with little to no previous experience needed.
For 11 years, MSU and Habitat for Humanity have partnered to create volunteer opportunities for students to help build homes for those in need within the Starkville community.
What we do is we try to provide decent, affordable housing for folks who are all doing all the right things. They have jobs, they've got some margin of credit, and but they're in a demographic that could never own their homes through conventional means like mortgage companies or banks. So we try to hit that demographic, and this is home number 19 in this neighborhood.
Despite many challenges emerging due to COVID-19, such as delays within the overall construction process, the love and spirit for volunteering continue to shine.
Volunteering is the backbone of progress. Volunteering is literally taking time out of your day to sit here and try to make the environment around you a better place. And that whole idea of just selfless service for the betterment of all, that's a really amazing thing to me.
So there's a certain amount of satisfaction and joy when you see the people that you have worked for through the years. I've been doing this about 20 years, about 45 houses. So it's pretty cool. Even when I see grown children, I'll see them. They'll tell me who they are, and I'll look and say, "Well, you were this big when I built your house. How did you get in college now?" And you know, things like that. It always has an unexpected payoff.
Additional volunteer opportunities with Habitat for Humanity include managing their retail store and doing donation pickups. For Take 30 News, I'm Aranisha Dukes.
For more information about volunteering opportunities offered at MSU, visit MSU's Cowbell Connect. Most people know that equine-assisted therapy programs can benefit those with disabilities. Take 30's Hannah Vandy has more on how horses can affect emotional health.
Something about the outside of a horse is good for the inside of a man. You know, something about horses that genuinely affect our mental status, our happiness, emotion.
Dr. Clay Cavender, a professor and MSU Extension horse specialist, wanted to learn more about how horses affected people in various ways.
But I've always been interested in taking it a step further and really interested in how horses affect people that don't struggle with physical or even mental disabilities or issues.
He just had to find a way to qualify his research with his own experience.
Because I know that going into the barn, being around horses, just being in the barn, in many ways is good for me.
He created a research project that brought in 50 people with no experience with horses and set up a protocol for them to follow.
They had to brush a horse 50 times on this side and comb the tail 50 times, and then they had to go to the other side, do the same thing. And then part B was they had to take the horse and lead him through an obstacle course, over some logs, over a bridge, around a cone.
After this, they were asked about stress relief and emotional type questions.
49 out of 50 said happy, joyful, excited, exhilarated, you know, those fun types of words. Even if you don't have anything to do with horses or know about horses, just working around a horse can be somewhat stress relieving.
Working and being around horses has left a personal impact on students.
I can think back to like when a family member would pass away, I would immediately go into our pasture with our horses, and like I would just like be out there all day.
It's not like a specific moment, but it's like kind of it's a journey.
Reporting for Take 30 News, I'm Hannah Vandy.
Even in controlled environments, people who had no experience with horses benefited from being around them. Take 30 Sports is next. Miles, a lot has changed since we last saw the football team. What can we expect this week?
Well, it's absolutely right. It's been just a crazy week in football, and there could be more players leaving, Mike Leach said. All that and more on the Sports Block coming up next.
When it comes to life on the coast, it's the world beneath the waves that supports the world above. So when an integral part of a delicate ecosystem disappears, economies on land are disrupted and livelihoods are lost. At Mississippi State University, we're aggressively confronting this issue on the Mississippi coast, where 90% of the local oyster population has vanished over the past decade due to circumstances both natural and man-made. In response, we're building computer models to simulate oyster movement and sustainability, models to determine strategic placement of artificial reefs to not only boost the dwindling food source, but to aid in coastal storm resilience and water filtration. It's a project that's paving the way for a healthier, cleaner coastline and a rejuvenated local economy. And for us here at MSU, that's more than just a good cause. It's one we can sink our teeth into. Flight. It's driven mankind's dreams for centuries. The ability to soar above the earth, to travel to faraway places, to connect distant points. Manned flights to the moon and space were once the stars for which we reached. Now, unmanned aircraft are the future. At Mississippi State University, our teams are developing unmatched unmanned aircraft systems for an array of critical applications. We're so good at it, the Federal Aviation Administration named MSU a Center of Excellence in the field, asking us to lead the team that's creating the operating regulations for unmanned aircraft systems worldwide. So essentially, we're writing the flight plan for an industry that is the future. Our work means better information, more opportunity, and limitless horizons for you. The sky really is the only limit.
Welcome back to Take 30 Sports. I'm Miles Conrad. It's been a rather shocking week for Bulldog fans as Hail State football players have been leaving the MSU program. The biggest name, running back Kylan Hill. Kylan was suspended by Mike Leach for the Texas A&M game for a blow-up on the sideline during the Kentucky game. Now he has decided to leave the program and prepare for the NFL draft. But Coach Leach said there could be more leaving in the near future as he instills a culture change.
You just take it as it comes, really. I mean, whether guys are looking for a better opportunity or whether, guys abide by the rules, that type of thing. But, you just deal with it as it comes. But, like I say, those guys, they're into another chapter in their life, and so are we. So we wish them the best. But, we're really only concerned with the guys that are.
So all this leads into the Halloween night showdown in Tuscaloosa. Saturday's matchup features the top offense and top defense in the SEC. Alabama leads the SEC and is third in the FBS, averaging 566 yards of offense per game. MSU leads the SEC and ranks 15th nationally in total defense, allowing 295 yards per game. Alabama's Mac Jones has been nothing short of impressive thus far this season and had pretty big shoes to fill. He's already tossed 1,900 yards with 12 TDs and only 2 interceptions. But for the second year in a row, Nick Saban has lost his best player to a season-ending injury. Alabama wide receiver Jalen Waddell fractured his ankle in Saturday's game against Tennessee while returning the opening kickoff, almost a year to the day after quarterback Tua Tagovailoa dislocated and fractured his hip while scrambling and trying to make a throw here at Mississippi State. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ball, Mississippi State is looking for the sign of life as the air raid offense has sputtered after the first week of dominance. KJ Costello has been underwhelming to say the least as he already hit double digits in interceptions. It is still unclear who will be under center tomorrow night. Losing Kylan Hill may seem like a big loss, but in the 2 games he's played, he only mustered up 295 all-purpose yards. Precision passing and eliminating dumb mistakes were a couple of the points Mike Leach made to correct in practices these past 2 weeks. The Bulldogs are going to have to look past the distractions surrounding the team this week and come together if they want a shot at knocking off the number 2 team in the nation. Last Saturday, the Hail State soccer team celebrated their seniors' efforts this season as they faced off with the Missouri Tigers. The game ended in a 1-1 tie. The 3 seniors honored were Olivia Hernandez, A.K. Ward, and Kristen Mailbranch. That's all the time we have for sports this week. For more in-depth analysis of Golden Triangle sports and beyond, tune into the Take 30 Sports podcast, which releases every Tuesday on your favorite podcast streaming apps. After the break, Cam Bell tells you what you need to know about the upcoming Winter Express semester.
When you're the best, Everyone wants to see what you'll do next. At Mississippi State University, our team of world-class rocket engineers is venturing beyond boundaries, building rockets like none before. We're launching a new era of space exploration. We've developed cutting-edge technology that's helping us build a rocket that can travel at 4 times the speed of sound. Fast? Yes. But more importantly, revolutionary. For you and for a space program that produces many of the conveniences we enjoy today. We're shaping your life in ways you never dreamed. What's next? Watch us and see.
That's all the time that we have for Take 30 News. We hope that you enjoyed watching. Keep up with us on our social medias and make sure to listen to the Take 30 News podcast every Tuesday. Good night.